Welcome to the Success Library. Thanks for joining. Drop a comment, share your thoughts, and let us know which book you'd love to see next.
Episode 8. Reasonable, Rational. The surprising truth about smart money decisions. What if I told you that the smartest financial decision isn't always the most logical one? That's right. When it comes to money, being reasonable often beats being rational. And in this episode, I'm going to show you why trying to be perfectly logical with your finances might actually be holding you back. Let's start with a simple truth. Humans are not robots. We're emotional. We have fears, dreams, habits, insecurities, and past experiences that shape every money decision we make. Yet traditional finance advice assumes we're calculators. It says, here's the math. Follow it. But if it were that simple, we'd all be rich already. So here's the key idea. The best financial plan is not the one that looks best on paper. It's the one you can actually stick with. Let me give you a real-world example. According to pure logic, the mathematically optimal way to invest might be to put all your money in high-return assets like stocks and never touch it for 40 years. But what happens when the market drops 30%? You panic. You pull out. You regret it later. You restart. You lose momentum. Even though the plan was rational, it wasn't reasonable for you because it didn't account for your emotions. Morgan Housel puts it this way. Do not aim to be coldly rational when making financial decisions. Aim to be pretty reasonable. Reasonable is more realistic, and you have a better chance of sticking with it for the long run, which is what matters most. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. Let's talk about budgeting. The rational plan might say, cut out all fun spending. Maximize your savings rate. Live like a monk. But here's the problem. If your plan makes you miserable, you'll eventually quit. A reasonable plan might include weekly takeout, vacations, or hobbies, and that's okay. Why? Because it keeps you engaged. It keeps you happy. It makes the financial plan sustainable. Now let's look at investing. Plenty of experts say, why keep cash in the bank? Inflation is eating it. Put it all in the market. And they're not wrong on paper. But maybe having a few thousand in a savings account helps you sleep better at night. Maybe it gives you a sense of control. Is that irrational? Technically, yes. But it's also reasonable. And that's what helps you stay in the game for the long run. And that's the secret. The most important part of a financial strategy isn't optimization. It's durability. Let's say two people start investing. One follows the perfect strategy but quits during their first bear market. The other follows a slightly less efficient strategy, but sticks with it for 30 years. Who wins? The second person, every time, because compounding only works if you don't interrupt it. Being reasonable means designing your financial habits to match who you are, not who a textbook says you should be. Ask yourself, do you prefer safety or growth? Can you handle big drops in your portfolio? Does seeing your balance fluctuate make you anxious? Do you need room for joy in your budget? These aren't soft questions. These are the questions. They define whether you'll stick with your plan when life gets tough. Here's a powerful analogy. Trying to follow a perfect but uncomfortable financial plan is like wearing a suit that doesn't fit. It might look sharp, but if it's tight, itchy, and hard to move in, you'll rip it off the first chance you get. Instead, find a plan that fits you. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to work for you, your life, your temperament. And let's not forget, reasonable doesn't mean reckless. It still means saving consistently, investing long-term, avoiding high-interest debt, living below your means. But also means being human, giving yourself room for error, leaving space for the occasional treat, splurge, or mistake without blowing up the whole system. And that mindset is powerful. Because when your financial plan reflects your values and personality, it becomes something you can trust. And when you trust it, you stay with it. And when you stay with it, that's when the real wealth starts to build. So to wrap this up, stop chasing the perfect plan. Start building the reasonable one. In the next episode, we'll dive into the power of long-term investing and how compounding quietly shapes every fortune. It's not flashy, but it's the closest thing to magic in the financial world.